A couple weeks ago, I had this major realization, and it was kind of funny. I was doing some work, and my kids were watching a TV show, and it was actually an old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, and it's a cartoon I grew up watching and I loved. And all of a sudden, I had this. The realization I had was the voice of Splinter is also the voice of the dad from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now that might not seem like a major realization to you, but at the moment it was like I recognized that voice, and it was kind of funny. I was just laughing. I watched both of these shows kind of simultaneously growing up and never put the two voices together. One of the things that Jesus says is he says, "I'm the good shepherd. My sheep know me. They hear my voice and they follow me." And sometimes I've heard that and I've thought, man, if Jesus is the good shepherd and he's speaking to me, sometimes I'm not quite sure that I know his voice, that I hear his voice and I recognize it. And I almost felt when I hear that at times, like, man, I don't know if I can listen enough, if I am worthy of the shepherd's love, if I'm really close enough to Jesus that I hear his voice. And I want to tell a story a friend of mine, a priest friend of mine told me about a friend of his that was in Ireland, and he was on a sheep farm. And as he was on the sheep farm, he went for a walk. And to go on this walk, he had to go through all these gates, the sheep gates. And so he went out way out in the field, went through the sheep gates. And when he came back, he realized he left all the different gates open. So there's sheep from different gates, and they were marked, with a different color. And they would go, the different color ones went into the different pens. And so he literally tried to like push the sheep back. And there were just hundreds of sheep, and it was a pretty comical sight. And in fact, the people who owned the house, they came out, and when they saw what was going on, they started laughing. And sure enough, each shepherd from each of those gates walked into the gate, started talking. And when the sheep heard their shepherd's voice, they walked to him. They went to him. One of the beautiful thing about that is, it shows that reality, what that looks like. Because I know for me, I don't oftentimes think about the sheep and shepherd relationship. But look, those sheep did nothing in some ways to earn their shepherd's love, their shepherd's care. But the shepherd loved them. And just by being in his presence, they were in the right spot. That's who they were meant to be. Look, the love that God has for you isn't something you have to earn, isn't something that you need to qualify for. God loves you because of who you are. He does call you, to new things and to grow and to be the person that you're called to be. But he always loves us perfectly right where we are. The sheep know the shepherd's voice not because they've earned it. But because that's who they were created to be. That's who they are. And so for us as Christians, as we listen to the shepherd's voice, we hear his voice by being in his presence. If you want to know the Lord's voice, be in his presence. Spend time with him. And I can promise you this, that as you do that, you will get to recognize and hear his voice more and more. He's not going to hold back from you. Spend time this week, today, in his presence, and let his voice speak to your heart.